Hey everyone, so I have had 3 ultrasounds. I'm in my first trimester in my 11th week, but I just kind of wanted to show these. Now, the first ultrasound that I had was, it was because I was spotting, but it was also a dating ultrasound. So when you see the dates that I wrote here in Sharpie, that's the dates based on the first ultrasound because I had no idea when my last period was. I have PCOS and I just wasn't keeping track and I didn't want to make something up. It seems like they really, really want you to tell them the date of your last period, but I didn't know. And I was like, I am not going to just make something up. So anyways, I got this. So I'm going to show you all 3 ultrasounds. Um, as you can see here, because I was having some vaginal bleeding and the assessment of gestational age, they did try to do the ultrasound on my stomach, but because I was only 6 weeks and 1 day, the baby was so small, they had to do a transvaginal. As you can see there, what I just said, I was unsure of my last period. There's only one baby in there. Now, the gestational sac was measuring only at 5 weeks and 4 days, 12 millimeters. In CRL, that's the baby crown rump length. They don't measure to the tip of the baby's toes. They only measure from the top of the head to the butt. So the baby was measuring 6 weeks and 1 day at 5 millimeter. Now, the reason here it says plus or minus 4 days is because if you backdate it, the day that it says that I would have conceived is not the day that I actually conceived, but 4 days prior I did something where I could have conceived. So I guess that's why it says plus minus 4 days. And sperm can live inside a woman's body. I think up to 3 days is the average, but it can be up to 5 days. So I don't know if they were just hanging out in there waiting. that's how the baby's measuring 6 weeks and 1 day, and I had done, like I said, 4 days prior to when they said I would have conceived. So it's like they were hanging out there waiting for the egg, I guess. And the ultrasonic EDC is 8/7. That's my due date. And they did see cardiac activity. Yes, they can see it. I was not able to hear it. They told me even in my 11th week ultrasound that they don't let people hear it. I have seen other people on YouTube hear it, but I guess the little Doppler that they use is stronger, and they don't like to expose the baby to that early. So they didn't let me hear it. But I have my own fetal Doppler at home, and I've heard it. But yeah, at 6 weeks and 1 day, they were able to see cardiac activity, and they were able to see movement, which is weird. I didn't see movement, and I see in the screen it just looked like a little stick that wasn't moving. But they said they seen it, and your placenta is not really working or fully operational, so that's why it says non-diagnostic. And let me show you here. Let me get this up. Okay, and then basically they just did the size of my ovaries, and my kidneys are fine. And it's weird because you'll see in the other ones my ovary size has changed, which is weird. I did not know that happens, but I guess that happens. Okay, so here is my 8 week and 2 day. That's what I actually was, 8 week and 2 day, but the baby was not measuring that. So let me start at the top. This one was because I was having some bleeding again. And by the way, after this first ultrasound, shortly after, the bleeding had stopped completely. I had nothing up until this again. So it was really weird that it started again. I didn't know why, so they just wanted to make sure everything was okay. Because I am over 35, I'm advanced maternal age, and I have a history of hypertension, which I got with my first pregnancy, and then it never went away. Never had it before that. This one, they were able to just do it on my stomach. They did not have to do a transvaginal. Let's see here. So the gestational sac was 31 millimeters. That was right on track with what I was. But the baby, crown rump length, 19 millimeters, is measuring a day ahead. So now they changed it. Instead of plus minus 4 days, it was plus minus 5 days. And then they were able to see the yolk sac. And they said that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a day off. I guess even if it's a few days off, they said it doesn't matter. Cardiac activity visualized. Placenta, they still don't really look at the placenta. And look, as you can see here, my ovaries, it changed. And they did not look at my kidneys this time. But the size of my ovaries changed, which I just thought was weird. Okay, so that was the 8-week in 2 day. Oh, and here, look, I wanted to show you this. They didn't say this at my first one. I guess they didn't see it, but at the second one, this 8-week and 2 day, they did find a small subchorionic hematoma, and it says it measured 23 by 4 by 18 millimeters. Okay, so now I hadn't had any bleeding at all right up until a couple days before this one, so I got another ultrasound. Thankfully, insurance covered all of this. Okay, so 11-week and 2 day, as you can see up there, history of vaginal bleeding. They were able to do through my stomach, did not have to do transvaginal. Patient's gestational age is 11 weeks and 2 days, which it was. And crown rump length, as you can see here, 44 millimeters. And then it was measuring 1 day behind, 11 weeks and 1 day. Remember the last one, it was measuring 1 day ahead. This time it was measuring 1 day behind, which is really, really weird, because let me just show you real quick to compare the 8-week and 2 day. As you can see, it was measuring 1 day ahead, and it said plus minus 5 days. And now it says 1 day behind, but they still added a day. Look at plus minus 6 days, so whatever. But yeah, I was measuring just 1 day behind, which they said did not matter. Cardiac activity visualized, movement visualized. Now let me tell you, there was no movement at all. The baby, I guess, was sleeping. And there was a student with this person, right? So the baby was just laying there. They did all the measurements, and she said, is it okay to, have the student do some pictures? And I said, sure. But I wanted to see the baby move, so I shook my stomach. Not too hard, but I really, really shook it. And the baby woke up, and it was going crazy all over the place in there. It was really cute. If you look at my previous video, you'll see it does these little jumps. And again, that's because I really shook my stomach. I'm sure they probably didn't like that, but I wanted to see it move. Okay, and now look, now they're looking at the placenta. Cord insertion central, location interior. My first baby, I had an anterior placenta as well. And I was kind of sad because I was never able to really feel her move up until my 20-some week. I was able to feel some things, but I always wanted to feel the crazy movement and see, the little elbows and hands and feet in your stomach. And of course now I have an anterior placenta. As long as the baby's healthy, it's all that matters. But it's weird because I feel like I'm feeling little flutters, but it says I have an anterior placenta, so and as you can see, my ovary size changed again. So that's basically my 3 reports for my 3 ultrasounds. Just wanted to show if anybody was interested. So thank you for watching. Please, please, please subscribe. It really, really is going to help this channel. And hope everyone has a good day. And baby dust to everybody that wants it, that's watching. Thanks for watching.